As I said, I don't get between food and speaking, but we thought we would give you something to do while you're eating, so we are going to begin the program so that everybody can enjoy and take their time and then have a little bit of the evening following. So I just want to welcome everyone. We're so excited to have this moment. A little bit delayed. We were on a wonderful trajectory, and then this thing called a global pandemic happened. And but we're happy we're here today, and we're hoping to use April to play catch up with the individuals that aren't able to attend, and then also induct our class of 2021. So we're happy our class of 2020 are here this evening. We have a wonderful special award with Dale Googins here tonight. But before I introduce a few people, I would like to recognize my leadership team in the department, and if they could stand and be recognized. I have my Senior Associate Director of Athletics and Head Women's Basketball Coach, Sarah Lee. I have my Associate Athletic Director, Greg Lott. And new to the leadership team and doing an incredible job in compliance and business operations, telling me not to spend so much money, is Bree Fields. So welcome, Bree. All of our coaches, many of our coaches have different responsibilities tonight, but I always tell everyone I have the best job in America because of the leaders that I get to work with day in and day out and learn from. And so if the head coaches in the room could stand and be recognized, that would be wonderful. And I believe our newest of the head coaches in the room is our head men's lacrosse coach, Eric Koch. So, Eric, special welcome to you. There were many people, especially at that table, that helped with this evening, and Laurie, Mary, Laura, Jen, and I would like to thank my staff and Cindy, Marty, and Tina, so please recognize them. And of course, Brandon, who is everywhere all the time. Thank you, Brandon. And our newcomer in Ricky Baptist is our new Director of Athletic Communication. Is he here? Yay, there he is, behind the camera. One person that I'm thrilled to have here tonight that I miss dearly, who was the director of the Varsity D Association, is Mike Hills. Mike, thank you for the back work on tonight's program. And Mike still lives in town, so he receives questions pretty much daily. Yep, every day. Hey, Mike, what happened? Where is this file? We are so fortunate to have two faculty members who serve in the role. The NCAA requires us to have faculty athletic representatives in all divisions. We have Dr. Aaron Henshaw and Dr. John Davis. But John Davis is with us here tonight in anthropology and sociology. And, you know, especially during COVID and otherwise, if it was either Adam alone in the stadium or John, but if there was a lone soul in the stadium, even watching an intra-squad. And so, John, we can't tell you how much we appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And so, speaking of, we have enjoyed quite a bit of success most recently, and all of the individuals that are being inducted, as well as our wonderful mentor, leader, and friend in Dale Googins, for whom we are naming our sport medicine suite. We couldn't do what we're doing without the leadership of the university, and I say it behind his back, in front of him, beside him, I guess above him if I'm on the floor above him or something. But the reason we've been able to be so successful is because we have the leadership of a president who understands athletics, who understands that it's very core to an athlete's success in higher education, and who supports all of our crazy ideas and all of our more mundane ideas. So please welcome tonight someone we call our fearless leader, Adam Weinberg.
Always appreciate Nan's nice comments, because I still live with a teenager, and those are not the kinds of comments that she makes about me in the morning. Before I say anything else, I just want to offer a couple reflections. You know, Nan, as she often has a habit of doing, doesn't introduce herself correctly, because what she forgot to say is her title is no longer actually Director of Athletics. That's just half her title. The other half of Nan's title is the NCAA Division III Women's Leaders in College Sport Nike Executive of the Year. It is one of the highest honors given out in Division III. It is one of the highest honors given out in Nan's profession. I've actually contacted the organization that gives it out and has told them if they just want to name it after Nan and keep it here, we're perfectly good with that. The other is, I want to offer a reflection and a thank you that I don't get a chance to do in public very often. There's very little about the last 18 months that's been easy, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been lots of things in the last 18 months that we're not proud of. It is in periods of challenge and sacrifice that you often get to achieve the most professionally. And I just want to single out one group of people here tonight. When COVID hit campus and all the students across the country were sent home, we made some different decisions than other colleges, and I won't walk you through all of them. But one of those decisions was I pulled together a cross-organizational team, and I gave them a very simple charge. I told them that when August rolled around, we would open the campus. We just would. And I didn't care what it cost, spend the money. Didn't care how you do it, as long as it was legal and safe. And I said jokingly, and I really meant this as a joke at the time, our classes are gonna meet with our faculty, and we're gonna play sports. And if we're the only college in the country at Division III level who was willing to play sports, then we'll play ourselves. Well, never occurred to me we actually would wind up playing ourselves. We then played almost every single one of our varsity sports in the spring. Our athletes had a great year at Denison last year, a remarkable year at Denison last year. They will look back and say that being a student athlete at Denison during the year of COVID taught them a lot about what it means to be a quality human being. And that started with the role modeling from our coaches. What they did for our students, the amount of hours they put in with our trainers and the rest of our staff, the creativity, they demonstrated what it means to stand by young people and to give them the experiences that they need and deserve. So I just want to thank our entire athletic staff, our coaches, our assistant coaches, our trainers, and everybody else, because when we talk about Denison pride and Denison gratitude, they exemplify it. So I just want to make a few remarks tonight, and I will apologize up front. I'm going to make my remarks, and then I'm actually going to run out the door because I'm going to go try to drop the puck at our ice hockey game at 7:45. This is always a night that I really look forward to, and as I start my 9th year at Denison, I'm continuously reminded how deeply in love I've fallen with this country, with this college. There's not a better college in the country, and this athletic program, from my perspective, which is both objective and subjective, has become the premier Division III athletic program in the country, bar none. There's 4,000 colleges in this country, but there's not an athletic program that I believe does it better than this one. So let me talk briefly about why I believe so deeply in what we're doing here. Let me start with some reflections on my own background. I had the pleasure of being a Division III athlete. I'm also a parent of an athlete. For those who don't know, I try to attend every athletic event at Denison. If I'm not in an athletic event, it either means my own daughter is playing field hockey, her coach is a Denison alum, or I'm at an airport someplace watching on my phone. So for the comments I'm about to make, they come from probably at this point watching thousands of Denison athletes and Denison athletic contests over the last 9 years. My remarks also come from conversations with parents because I get to do something that coaches don't get to do. I get to sit in the stands and listen to the parents talk with gratitude for what happens to their kids when they're athletes at Denison. So first and foremost, there's the obvious thing I love about Denison athletics. We win. We win a lot, often by a lot of goals or a lot of points. The NCAC All-Sports Trophy is given out each year to the overall strongest athletic program in the country. We've won it, I think, slightly over 50% of the time. Winning's important from my perspective. It's not the only reason you play sports, but it is the reason we keep score, and we do that a lot. But we also, that's just the beginning. We also know a lot about education and what has to happen in college for young people to look back in 50 years and say, my life turned out better than I ever thought it could, and being at that college helped make that happen. 3 things have to happen. You have to find a mentor who cares about, connects, and catalyzes you. You have to get involved outside the classroom in something that gives you some depth and breadth, where you learn good values and habits, and you surround yourself with peers who bring out the best in you. And you have to do that over a period of time. What I basically described is not just what the research suggests on what has to happen in college to matter. I just described Denison athletics. When you come to Denison as an athlete, you know that you're going to play with incredible teammates, receive world-class mentorship from our coaches, and develop the liberal arts skills, values, and habits you need to be successful in life. Doesn't get any better. Let me start with the friendships. You know this. When you come to Denison as an athlete, you know that you will form friendships and that many of your teammates will remain some of your closest friends for the rest of your lives. I'm looking around at a room of people who have told me those stories and who exemplify it. You also know that you'll play for some of the finest educators in the liberal arts. We call them our coaches. And we also know you're going to be engaged in team cultures where you're going to develop persistence and grit, the ability to work and lead teams, the capacity to both hear but also seek out criticism and transform setbacks into the necessary steps that allow you to find success. Our athletes learn values of integrity, respect, humility, self-discipline, and so on. That's what our players are learning from our coaches. That's what you learned when you were here. It's what Denison athletes learned before you, and it's what they continue to learn today. They're learning life skills. I've never, ever, ever seen a Denison team or a Denison athlete give up. Anybody watch the Wittenberg football game last weekend? So that was on purpose. We purposely went down 16 points in the first 3 minutes because Jack's trying to instill integrity, persistence, and grit in our players. We purposely stretched out the last minute to about 15 minutes because, again, we want to teach patience through athletics. All that was by design. Our players they don't give up. And they support each other to the very end. That's how we do it at Denison. Our teams you'll watch tomorrow, and I hope you will all stick around tomorrow and run from one athletic event to another, because you'll see the same values and habits across every single one of our sports. Our players play with tenacity. They play every second hard. If you run a company or are looking to hire somebody for your company, you can hire any one of our student athletes sight unseen. You'll be glad you did. They're winners. And if you just send us the job descriptions and the salaries, we'll send the students to you. So I actually had the chance to speak with Nan yesterday to some of our incoming athletes, our first-year students. And one of the things I said to them is every time our players step out onto a field, court, or into a pool, they represent this great college at its absolute highest level. So I love the fact that we win. I'm in awe of the friendships our players form. I'm actually kind of jealous of them. I'm deeply proud of their skills, values, habits our coaches instill within our players. I just want to read a quote, and there's been so many of them over the last 9 years, but I keep coming back to this one, and it's actually written a few years ago at this point. But it came from a Denison senior who wrote right before graduation. Denison to me is the college where I shaped the larger part of me. I spent 4 years here with incredible highs and conversely some pretty low lows, but I've come out a more mature, confident, and better educated person. My favorite part about Denison is the community. What's so cool to me is that I was able to make both friends on my team and not on my team. This, along with studying abroad, which is not something that many athletes at my sport get to do at other schools, while maintaining a very competitive athletic life, my social skills, time management skills, leadership ability, and overall skills to become the person I desire to be post-graduation. That's what it's meant to be an athlete at Denison. So it's an exciting time for our athletic program. Nan will talk more about that to anybody who wants to hear about what we're doing with the Knetzer Institute. But tonight is a chance to celebrate you. You created this legacy, and it is that legacy that's allowed us to continue to offer a great athletic program to our students. So I'm proud you're here. I'm proud that we get a chance to celebrate you. I'm grateful that you've agreed to come back. You left a legacy that our students are benefiting from and working hard to contribute to. And many of you have contributed to athletics in your post-Denison life. You've taken what you learned at Denison and used it to create transformative opportunities for young people. So thank you. Thank you for being great Denisonians. Thank you for caring about your alma mater, and thank you for being here tonight.
Could we have another round of applause for our fearless leader? I have the opportunity tonight to recognize one of the individuals who really helped drive the initiative to be able to name the sports. Well, there were several, and we'll discuss them momentarily. But one in particular we have asked to speak tonight, and that is Rex Elliott. I'd like to invite him to the podium. Rex is the class of 1984. Jack, I don't know if he has any eligibility left that we could use tomorrow. He had a BA in political science. He's a, semi-all-world attorney, and he's in Columbus. But more important than that, he previously served as our Varsity D Association president prior to Rich Siles. He's been on our alumni council, reunion gift committee. He's just been a tremendous supporter, but most importantly, he is currently a Denison parent of our wonderful junior, Gabby Elliott, who's on the women's basketball team. So please welcome Rex Elliott.
Thank you, Nan. I know I'm biased, but I truly believe that at Denison University we have the finest president in the country. We have the finest athletic director and athletic department. We have the finest coaches, and we have the finest athletes. And tonight I'm very proud and very honored to be able to stand up here and say a few words about somebody that I believe is one of the most important people to ever serve here at Denison University. Every so often in a young life, we come across someone so humble and so talented that they profoundly impact our lives simply by their actions. They don't preach, they don't offer words of wisdom, and they don't seek the spotlight. They simply impact us through their actions, their behavior, and how they treat others. I strongly suspect that Dale Googins was that person for countless Denisonians, and I know Dale Googins was that person for me. During my 4 years, and I know we all probably have our own personal anecdotes, but during my 4 years as a Denison football player, I had nearly daily contact with Dale as he would wrap my ankles and treat my sore muscles and things of that nature. And I can't imagine an athletic trainer as talented as Dale, as skilled, who could treat hundreds of men and women every year across all the different sports. In the fall of my senior season, I broke my collarbone in the third game of the year, and it should have ended my playing career. I'd been an all-conference wide receiver the year before. I had set a school record, and I was really looking forward to my senior year. I entered my senior year full of goals and dreams and aspirations after working harder than I ever had in my entire lifetime for what would be my final year of athletic competition, and I was off to a great start. I thought at the time I broke my collarbone that the injury was one of the worst things that had ever happened in my young life. Orthopedists, coaches, teammates, friends, family, all believed that my athletic career was over, but Dale gave me the hope that I needed to believe that I could return, and he provided me with the path that I needed to get there. He saw my disappointment. He treated hundreds of athletes, and he saw how disappointed I was, and he was determined to take care of me. He could have easily written off my senior season and simply healed my bone, but as most of us know, this is not how Dale Googins is wired. Every day for the remainder of my final season, I spent hours with Dale in the training room. I had a broken bone, but Dale believed that I could hasten my recovery through alternative methods of treatment like ice and heat and electrical stimulation, and I literally spent hours every day by his side. Dale, during that time, for me, was a skilled athletic trainer, but he was also a therapist, and he was a counselor, and he was a friend. He then created a device that protected my collarbone and enabled me to return for the final 3 games of the season. I finished the season strong, but most importantly, I was able to gain the important closure to my athletic career, and that's all due to Dale Googins. I think missing most of my senior season would have haunted me for a long time if I hadn't made it back, and Dale knew that. He knew it, and he was determined to do all he could to make sure that that didn't happen to me. But Dale had a much greater impact on me than simply helping me return to athletic competition. We engaged in hours of discussions about life. He was intensely interested in what I wanted to do for a career, what I wanted to do for my life. And when I told him I wanted to go to law school, Dale told me that he thought I'd make a very good lawyer. He treated hundreds and thousands of athletes, and I saw just how much he cared every single day for every one of them. I was not the exception. I was the way Dale treated all of us. Dale was the first person in my life, outside of my parents, to teach me the value of listening intently, the value of being completely aware of your surroundings, being interested in what was happening to others, placing the utmost value on personal relationships, and that a life well lived is a life spent helping others. Despite all the pressures that Dale carried on his broad shoulders, making sure all Denison athletes were healthy and ready for competition, I've never seen him without a smile on his face and a kind word to offer. I cannot imagine anyone more deserving of the honor that Denison University bestows on Dale Googins tonight. As much or more than anybody I know, Dale Googins embodies this great university. He is the heart and soul of Denison athletics. He has impacted thousands of athletes in his decades of skilled athletic training, and his name will now be forever etched in the walls of this tremendous athletic facility. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored and privileged to be able to stand here and say a few words about my good friend, Dale Googins. Dale Googins, you deserve this more than anybody ever has, and I'm proud to stand up here and call you my friend. Thank you for everything you've done for all of us.
I don't want to follow that, Dale. And I'm not going to show anyone my Achilles tendon scar or tell them that I met my best friend and partner in crime on crutches or anything like that tonight. But it is a true honor to be here tonight to recognize a man who selflessly committed to improving the lives of students at Denison and throughout Central Ohio. The naming of the Dale Googins Endowed Scholarship Fund and our Dale Googins Sport Medicine Suite would not have been possible without the support of so many alumni and friends. I would like to thank the lead donors and the first person, Janetta. You're next on my staff if you want a full-time job. She started this fundraising initiative. So could you please stand and be recognized? And stay standing. Bertram Cantor, is he here, Bertram? Peter Huber, are you still here, Peter? Okay. Rex Elliott, please stand and be recognized. And Grant Jones, who was here, but of course had to cover a game this evening, I believe at Upper Arlington. Adam, if you and Rex could stand on either side of the easel, I would like to uncover a rendering of the plaque that will mark the Dale Googins Sports Medicine Suite. This suite is named in honor of Professor Emeritus Dale Googins to recognize the innovation, leadership, teaching, and mentoring that were hallmarks of his extraordinary tenure as an athletic trainer and professor at Denison from 1961 through 1998. In addition, the Dale Googins Health, Exercise, and Sports Studies Endowed Scholarship Fund has been established to celebrate in perpetuity Dale's profound impact on the lives of generations of Denison students. Denison University is exceedingly grateful to the many generous alumni and friends who contributed to this fitting and well-deserved tribute. Dale, if you could please stand and be recognized for this honor tonight. Thank you. And we will move on with our program. And first and foremost, I want to be certain that everyone understands that the highest athletic award bestowed in the Varsity D Association is the Varsity D Hall of Fame. So at this time, I would like to introduce our 2020 Hall of Fame inductees, several of who cannot be here this evening, but we will still read their citation. The first inductee is Cheryl Bailey. She could not be with us tonight, but her service to Denison was truly remarkable and will stay with Denison forever. Cheryl served as Women's Athletic Director from 1983 until 1990, overseeing 12 women's varsity athletic programs, and as the first head women's soccer and women's track and field coach. She was a 3-time NCAC Coach of the Year, and her squad was the first intercollegiate varsity soccer program in the state of Ohio. She left Denison University for the University of Wisconsin in 1990, where she became the Senior Associate Athletics Director. After 15 years at Wisconsin, Bailey was named the General Manager of the U.S. Women's Soccer National Team, which won the gold medal at the 2008 Olympics, took silver at the 2011 World Cup, and bronze at the 2007 World Cup. Please join me in congratulating in absentia Cheryl Bailey.
Our second inductee is Alex Baruch from the Denison class of 2008. He is also unable to be here with us this evening. Alex was a 4-year letter winner and All-American men's lacrosse player from 2005 to 2008 as a starting goalie for Denison, and was named the NCAA Division III Goalie of the Year by the U.S. Intercollegiate Lacrosse Association. Denison advanced to the NCAA Division III tournament in all 4 of his seasons as the goalie, advancing to the second round 2 of those years. After graduating from Denison, Alex went on to play professionally for the San Francisco Dragons of the Major League Lacrosse. Please join me in congratulating Alex Baruch.
I am delighted to introduce to you Cam Cowden. Our next inductee is one of the greatest pitchers in Denison baseball history. He was a 2-time All-Mid-East selection, and in 2004 was named NCAC Pitcher of the Year. He holds 5 career pitching records at Denison and is the program's all-time leader in wins, starts, innings pitched, winning percentage, and strikeouts. Coach Deegan's going to want you to pitch a few tomorrow. He was named first team All-Conference in 2003 and 2004 with 31 wins in both seasons. From the Denison class of 2004, Cam Cowden. If you want to come around, or you can go up. That's intentional to see who still has game.
You still got it.
So, yeah, we'll take a picture and then you can say a few words.
Well, thanks, Nan, and great to be back on campus, and even better to see it thriving and growing so much since we've been here. It's incredible, and Mitchell Center looks a heck of a lot different as well since we were here as well. But going to Denison was certainly the best decision I ever made. I mean, several reasons, but number one, met my wonderful wife, Meg. Senior year, it was geology class of all places, and I think we were the only 2 seniors in the entire class, and lab partners, and hey, the rest is history. But Meg was a baseball super fan senior year. Coach remembers, and she'd probably admit, baseball was not her all-time favorite sport in the world, but she came to every single game that she possibly could. Huge amount of support, and it was really cool to see. She was such a huge part of my senior year and the success we had. So thank you for that, and the support senior year, and the support, and I guess, heck, putting up with me for 18 years now. And now we have two beautiful little girls, Cora and Callie, and you're behaving wonderfully, girls. Thank you. As well. But also in Denison as a whole, I mean, so many great memories, great friends, and I think more than anything too is just really prepared me to hit the ground running going into the real world. And it was just gave me all the tools I needed, and just made me a better person overall, and always challenged me. So really appreciate, and I see a lot of faces that I recognize here from when I was here in 2000, 2004. So really appreciate everybody that has a hand in making Denison such an awesome place to be, and such a great community to be a part of. Otherwise, just a couple of big thank yous. One, my mom's here, and my dad unfortunately is not with us anymore. But for my brother and I, Kyle, I mean, you raised us the right way, and I appreciate that. I mean, it's looking back, you instilled, hey, hard work matters, work ethic matters, discipline, respect, and just gave us such a good foundation that I think is just so key to any child. So thank you for that. And thinking back on it, I mean, baseball, basketball, two kids, 20, 25 years of your life, pretty much sacrificed for us. And so, you're shuttling us to practice games, and I mean, it's just incredible, and that type of sacrifice and support, it really means a lot. So we appreciate it. A huge part of any success we had, I think, in athletics. And I would say too, I got cut not once but twice in middle school. So 6th grade, 7th grade, I was cut from the team, and just probably could have thrown in the towel and felt like, I'm just, baseball's not for me, and a lot of people may have, but I believed in myself. I wanted to keep playing, but more importantly, I think, parents believed in me. They knew I could do it, and gave me the support, the push, worked with me in the backyard, the field, made the team 8th grade year, and then and I'm up here tonight. So I don't think things could have gone a heck of a lot different if didn't have the support when times were not so great. So thank you for all you've done throughout the life and career. Thank you for being here tonight, Robert. Thank you for joining as well. Appreciate it. And then secondly, I have to give a big thank you to Coach Craddock. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it. My coach here for 4 years. Wouldn't be up here without you, Coach. We were joking about it earlier, and I wasn't a pitcher until senior year of high school. And first time he went to recruit me, or he was at a game of mine, I was like, I got to go warm up. I'm pitching the second game. And he's like, huh? He's like, you didn't tell me you pitched. And he's like, I guess I go get the radar gun. And I was like, well, I really don't consider myself a pitcher. He was recruiting me as a shortstop. And so he saw something in me that I don't think I even knew I had as a pitcher. And he said, well, heck, we're going to try out there on the mound freshman year. So within 5 years, I went from never pitching in my life to NCAC Pitcher of the Year. And, I mean, it was all due to, your guidance, your coaching, your expertise, and teaching me how to pitch, basically. So really appreciate that. And also, not to mention, just putting the Denison baseball on the map. Denison baseball was really had struggled, hadn't had much success over the years. You came, we go, 4 straight years we set school records, 31 wins our senior year, 5th in the country. So so many great friends, great life lessons, just the way you ran the program and really put Denison baseball on the map. I know me and all the alumni really appreciate what you did for Denison baseball as well. So thank you for being here and all you did for my career. And finally, I just have to give a big shout out to, Coach Romick, I know, is here, and Coach Deegan, and they've really invigorated the baseball program as well, and it's really awesome to see. Congrats on the NCAC championship. May or may not have been against Worcester last night. I don't know. I had to do it. No, I had to do it. I had to. But congratulations, hey, you're making all of us alumni really proud, and congratulations on the great work that you have put in. And congrats to all the other inductees as well. It's humbled to be up here with you all, and I hope everybody has a great evening and rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Our next inductee is a 9-time national champion, and a 22-time All-American as a member of Denison's men's swimming and diving team from 2005 through 2009. He captured 4 individual events and 5 relay events for national titles, tying the program's all-time leader in national championships. In 2009, he led Denison to the NCAC title, and in his 4 trips to the Nationals, Denison placed 2nd in 2006 and 2007, and 3rd in 2008 and 2009. From the class of 2009, David Curtis.
Somewhere. Hello, everybody. Well, it's a huge honor to be here, and it's really great to see everybody, and thank you for putting this event together. It's really an honor to be here, like I said. And so I was thinking about what to say tonight, and I thought I'd just start off by sharing a little story from my first year at Denison. I was competing in my first dual meet of the year, my first dual meet ever at Denison freshman year, and I was about to swim the 500-yard freestyle, which is 20 lengths in the pool, and it's my first race ever at Denison. And for those who aren't familiar with the swimming world, a lot of times in the early season meets, dual meets, we'll wear our racing suit, and then we'll wear what's called a drag suit over top of that, which is kind of like, it provides some more resistance, because in the early season meets, they're kind of considered more training at this point, so you just are trying to, put some more resistance on yourself and everything. So I had my drag suit on, and I get up on the block, dive in the water for my first 500-yard freestyle, and my drag suit immediately slides down to my knees. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a good way to start my career here. So I'd like to say that I had the good sense to kick off the suit, which would be the logical thing to do, but that's not what happened. Decisions were made, and I decided to finish the whole race, 20 lengths, with the suit around my knees. I'm not sure what was going through Coach Greg's mind at that time. I'm sure it was probably a mix of emotions, but fortunately for me, though, Greg has a good sense of humor, and I think maybe he saw this as a teachable moment. I'm not really sure, but all I remember is that after the race, all the coaches and my teammates, besides a few jokes about the pros and cons of wearing a drag net around your knees during a race, just patted me on the back and said, you'll do better next time. And I think that moment really helped solidify in my mind the kind of culture that Denison Swimming and Diving had created. We all had lofty goals for the program and for ourselves, but we always had fun and kept things positive. And my time at Denison and being part of this outstanding team was full of moments like this. Moments of success, moments of failure, but throughout everything, taking time to step back and find humor and just enjoy the experience of being on such a great team, led by such great coaches, trying to do something at Denison that hadn't been done before. And I think so much of that credit has to go to the coaches, who are the constant examples, always there. Coach Greg, Coach Molly, Coach Amanda, Dave, Matt, Christy. These coaches led by such a great example, and Coach Greg is always tinkering on new training methods and new ways of approaching the mental aspect of competition. Always had an inspirational speech up his sleeve, and I know that I wouldn't have been half the swimmer that I was without his guidance. And I, of course, want to thank my family for supporting me and driving me to morning practice in high school, waking up at 5 o'clock with me every day, every weekday. So I'd like to conclude again by saying thank you to Greg, thank you to all the coaches and to everybody in the athletic department for inspiring generations of athletes to strive for success and integrity and everything they do in and out of the pool, in the field. You've set a really high bar for success here at Denison, and all of our lives have been enriched so much because of it. So thank you.
So, Bill, Bill Druckmiller, there were a lot of people that wanted to speak on your behalf tonight, but we decided we wanted to get home before 2 a.m. Besides that, you know, sometimes you have to pull rank, and in this instance, I wanted this honor. So, our next inductee is Bill Druckmiller, a 4-year letter winner in men's basketball, averaging 13.3 points and 13.5 rebounds per game, and as a junior, ranked 10th in the nation in field goal percentage at 60.7% from the field. Man, that sounds pretty good. An academic All-American as well, even more impressively. He was Denison's first recipient of the prestigious exclusive award, as well as the NCAA postgraduate scholarship. We are leading the country in NCAA postgraduate scholarships because of you and individuals from all of our athletic classes. We talk a lot at Denison about leaving a legacy. And I always share my quote, it's not the honor you take with, but the heritage you leave behind. Scotty, you might remember that because that was written by Branch Rickey when signing Jackie Robinson, and you have done just that, Bill, and we really appreciate that. From the class of 1968, Dr. Bill Druckmiller.
See, now you can't, see, you're allowing this. See, Charlie's going to speak on my behalf. Oh, you can't have Charlie sit down. Well, it is a great honor to be here. Throw something at him? Yeah, well, I'll throw something at him, yes. I think one of the interesting things is you do form long-term friendships. My first comment is I got elected 52 years after I graduated, and I'm trying to figure out what changed, because I thought at first they took some of Charlie's statistics and gave them to me, but that didn't happen. But anyway, it was an interesting surprise. And it is a great honor to be here. My comments are not reliving what I did here or what the basketball team did here, because we as a group have done that many times, and it's always a great thing to do. But my comments are a reflection on athletics in college and Denison and athletics and what they mean. They're going to sound a bit like Adam's comments, although we're going to have one big difference, which comes very soon. Athletics do have a place in college, but there are many differing opinions what that should be and how important it should be. Denison has chosen the course of the student athlete with the emphasis on the former. Dr. Blair Knapp, who was president when some of us were here, always said that any team that won 50% of its contests had a successful season. Now, clearly, Adam feels a little differently about that.
On the other hand, they also realized that athletics were not for the glorification of sport as an end, and that we were not a training ground for professional sports. My guess would be, I got a lot of guesses tonight, my guess would be that there were probably about 2 or 3 people who went on from Denison to professional sports. The 1968 basketball team, and Charlie's here, Phil Wentz is here, Tom Demo is here. When we had our 50th reunion, counted 3 lawyers, 2 physicians, 2 educators, 3 businessmen, and I think that's pretty typical. Well, you're the educator. But there was a minister as well. And I think that was probably pretty typical of Denison teams. And it meant that sports were not for university fundraising, but they were for a starting point of making a better life. There are many benefits of athletics in an academic setting, including time management, personal recognition, attaining goals, decision making, learning that sometimes decisions that you make have consequences. I think there are long-term benefits of athletics as well. The first, I'm a physician, so I tend to think of health first. I think that the Hall of Fame members as a group probably have remained more active in sports than the general population. I've noticed over 35 years in medicine that the people who are in better physical condition are healthier, and they handle injuries, they handle major illnesses much better than the average person. Another guess is that Denison benefits as well. I have a feeling that the people who are in the Hall of Fame support Denison in many ways and probably do so more than the average person that comes to Denison. And as has been stated, unfortunately, my conclusion has already been stated, but if you look at the last 54 years, Denison has had 100 and a few All-Americans, academic All-Americans, and 54 postgraduate scholarships. That's 2 and 1, 2 a year, 1 a year. And that's a very impressive record, and it's my hope that that record continues for the next 54 years. Thank you.
Bill, very well spoken. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I enjoyed watching you play your first 3 years here at Denison, and very deserving. Congratulations. Our next inductee, Robin Shesky Hensley from the Denison class of 2001, could not be with us here this evening. Robin is a 4-year letter winner and one of the top softball pitchers in Denison history. She began her career in Denison's second year as a varsity program. And by her senior season, the Big Red were NCAC champions and participants in the NCAA tournament for the first time. A 3-year all-conference pick, she was named NCAC Pitcher of the Year in 1999. Please join me in congratulating Robin Shesky Henley.
Our next inductee, Jenny Lacey Helen, is not able to be with us this evening. Jenny began and concluded her Denison field hockey career with individual NCAC awards as Newcomer of the Year in 2002, Player of the Year in 2005. She was a 4-year All-NCAC First Teamer and an All-American as a senior. At Denison, she ranks 3rd in career goals and 4th in career points. She started all 73 games and logged 11 game-winning goals. Please join me in congratulating Jenny Lacey Pellin from the class of 2006.
Our next inductee was one of Denison's most accomplished scholar athletes in Denison women's swimming history. She was a 4-year letter winner, 3-time North Coast Athletic Conference champion, and 2-time team captain. She was an 18-time All-American swimmer. She was honored as an NCAA postgraduate scholar as a senior in 1997. The same year, she was named the National Academic All-American of the Year and was selected as a Denison Presidential Medalist, the highest student honor bestowed by the university. From the class of 1997, Kristen Goldthorpe Rickner.
Well, before I start, I think I have a couple of comments just on the state of things, right? One, it's actually really nice to be here with people and see faces and have dinner together. Two, my feet are killing me. I have not worn heels in 18 months. And it is not as much fun as I remembered. But I guess I just want to say, thank you. This is such an honor. It's really exciting for me to be here with my husband, Tom, who I met as a freshman here at Denison, my daughter, Lauren, who is now a freshman at Denison, and my coach, Greg Perini, and his lovely wife in the back. Insanely, it has been 24 years since I graduated from Denison. And it seems like a lifetime ago, but I still think about the school and the impact it had on me almost every day. Some of the memories have faded a bit over time, but others are as fresh as the day I made them. My very first swim practice at the Gregory Natatorium, the blizzard of '94 where classes were canceled for the first time like forever, and it was so exciting. Everyone was like, there's no class tomorrow. Our jeans were freezing on our legs, and our parents had to send us new coats, but we were just happy because we didn't have class for a day. Meeting my husband for the first time, representing the school at nationals, lessons I learned from some of my favorite professors who are still here today. There's so many more things, but whether the memories are fresh or faded, what I can say is that Denison impacted my life in really the most meaningful of ways. The hype is real. I listened to Adam when the class of 2025 started at the beginning of this year, and it's true. Everything he says is true. The benefits that Denison touts are real. Our learned skills and our development of character absolutely carry with us into the world off the hill. I've had the confidence to ask for what I want, to know that I can succeed and excel in any task I take on, and to have faith and confidence in myself, but also, more importantly, to know that we are all part of the whole. To know that we are stronger together, and that lifting up the person next to you both helps the group and helps you, and here you learn it is also a moral imperative. I learned all of this and more here in this beautiful and idyllic setting. I also learned that sometimes bad things happen, and you have to just put one foot in front of the other. You have to persist, and you have to always move forward. But today, what is such an incredible blessing to me is to be able to see this place through the eyes of a younger generation. As I mentioned, Lauren is a first-year student here. She's finishing her first month of college. She is a swimmer as well, and I'm so grateful that the person who had such an influence on my life is here to influence hers. As she was starting her college search, we really stressed that she needed to make her own decisions. She needed to look at what schools would be best for her, and while, of course, Denison was an option and something we were pulling for quietly, we really wanted her to make sure that she understood there were lots of great choices out there. We looked all over the country, but ultimately, I think she saw in Denison all the amazing opportunities that Tom and I saw 28 years ago. She chose the Hill to be her home the same way we did. This is a place that gives you the room to grow into the very best version of yourself. It pushes you, sometimes gently and sometimes firmly, to expect more from yourself and from others, and how to work for your goals. We are so excited to see Denison kind of anew through her eyes and to embrace the next 4 years here as both parents and alumni, and to have a front row seat as Denison continues to shine as the remarkable institution of higher education that it is. Thank you.
Our final inductee, Emma Woodward, Denison class of 2005, is not able to be with us this evening. And just for everyone's information, once again, they will be invited back to be live and in person for our spring induction or our following fall induction. So hopefully we will see them at some point. Emma was a 4-year letter winner on the women's basketball team and ranks 11th in career scoring at Denison. She was named to the All-NCAC first team as both a junior and senior. In 2005, she led Denison to its second NCAC tournament championship and its first NCAA Division III tournament victory. Please join me in congratulating Emma Woodward. At this time, Rich Siles will tell us a little bit about the Varsity D Association and give closing remarks. Rich?
Thank you, Nan. On behalf of our thousands of alumni lettermen across the country and across the world, I offer our new Hall of Famers our congratulations. You are certainly the best of our best. Congratulations to you all. And to Dale Googins, thank you for your many years of service to Denison and to Denison athletics. You've helped our athletes with a lot more than just tape and ice. Thank you very, very much. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't echo the congratulations to Nan. I believe this is the second time that she's been honored nationally for her work as our Director of Athletics. Nan, congratulations, well deserved. And finally, to the members of the D Association Board who are with us tonight, we appreciate your support of Denison and of Denison athletics. Although because of COVID concerns, we've not met for almost 2 years. But we're planning to get the board together just as soon as it's possible. In the meantime, we encourage all of our sports reps to continue their leadership efforts among the alumni of their respective sports. And finally, as a reminder to those of you who are here in Granville to support our teams tomorrow, there are a number of athletic events that are going on. I'll just name them real quickly for you here. Our swimming and diving alumni and family meet, 10 a.m. in the Trumbull Athletic Center. Field hockey game versus nationally ranked Lynchburg at 11 a.m. in Piper Stadium. Women's soccer match versus conference rival Allegheny at noon on Thompson Field. The men's soccer team will have a contest with an NCAC opponent, Hiram, at 2:30 on Barclay-Thompson Field. And the football game against nationally ranked Wabash College at 3 p.m. in Piper Stadium. In addition, there are club games and scrimmages going on that you'll be able to access tomorrow. And please make it a point to see and hear President Weinberg at her Conversation with the President event tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the Reese Shackelford Common. This concludes our event. Thank you all for attending and your support of Denison Athletics and Denison University, and go Big Red.